I think the problem with the Republicans that are in leadership now in the legislature is that they're captive to the Tea Party. I never thought that would happen in Minnesota, but that's what's going on. It's really sad that the Tea Party is really calling the political shots at the state capitol.
Ellen Anderson serves Governor Dayton as an advisor on energy and the environment. Prior to that engagement, she was chair and a commissioner on the Minnesota Public Utilities Commission. Very important job. In the state Senate, she represented parts of St. Paul and all of Falcon Heights. Welcome to Democratic Visions.
Thank you so much. Great to be here.
You served 18 years in the state Senate. You know the Senate backwards and forwards, I'm sure. Now we know Terry Bonhoff, who's seeking re-election, also knows the Senate. But we have a couple of people running out in this area who haven't been elected to the Senate. Melissa Franzen is seeking the Senate seat for District 49, which includes Edina, parts of Eden Prairie, parts of Minnetonka, and West Bloomington. Lori McKendry is seeking the Senate seat for Senate District 48, which includes Eden Prairie and the southern half of Minnetonka. What can you tell them as to how they could be an effective legislator as you were when you served?
That's a great question, and I've met both of those women, and they're both really dynamic, smart, articulate. I think they'd both be great senators for these districts and would really represent their constituents well. So I guess what I would say is most important is know your district and know what issues matter to them, and go to the Capitol and stand up for those things. Be positive. You got to reach out and try to work with people, whether they're Democrats, Independents, Republicans, or, well, Tea Party, I guess. You learn very quickly when you get elected that you have to get 51% of the votes to get anything done. So you have to work with people who come from all over the state with different perspectives, different life experiences, and you have to figure out how to find common ground with them to move things forward for the state.
Okay, Ellen, so you responded very well to my question, but now the next question is tougher. What do we have to do to get them elected, and why is it important that we replace 2 Republicans with 2 progressive Democrats?
The problem is that the current leadership in the legislature is not serving the interests of the state of Minnesota. That's the problem. And so we need to start by sending them home and giving some new people with some new ideas a chance to serve and to represent their districts. I don't believe the people in charge are representing the interests of their districts or of the state. Senator Hann is a great example. I served with Senator Hann for many years.
2002 on, didn't you? Yes,
that's right. So I was there from 2002 to 2011. He was a member of my committee, as a matter of fact, when I chaired the Energy and Environment Budget Committee. He was pretty much against things, and I had a common sense bill that would have set safety standards for cribs. I'll never forget that, because Senator Hann got up on the Senate floor and tried to get that provision taken out of our bill, because he said, oh, it's too much of a nanny state. And we did this bill because toddlers had died in cribs. And so we needed to have safety standards. It was a common sense way to protect children, and he was against it. I was really shocked. I worked really hard on promoting renewable energy in the Senate, and I passed a law called the Renewable Energy Standard, which Governor Pawlenty signed. It passed nearly unanimously. Very few people voted against it. It was less than a half a dozen people voted against it in the state Senate. David Hann was one of them. This is the law that says we're going to get at least 25% of our electricity from renewable sources like wind and solar. Strong support from Minnesotans, but David Hann's against it. So he's just been out of the mainstream. He focuses on trying to undermine our healthcare system. Now that he's been the chair on the healthcare committee.
Very responsible position.
Very responsible position. Now that he's had an opportunity to be in a leadership position, he's shown us what he will do with that, and that is to try to dismantle what is actually considered the best healthcare system of any of the 50 states. We have more insured people, more people covered by healthcare in Minnesota, and he's trying to undermine that.
Well, he's also been very notably an obstructionist towards the implementation of the Affordable Health Care Act publicly. I mean, he's been dueling with Governor Dayton time and time again on that matter.
That's right, and the healthcare exchanges are supposed to set up opportunities for consumers to choose the best quality care for the best price, and he's been fighting that. And
what motivates a person like Senator Hann to introduce legislation that would cut Meals on Wheels, which he did in 2011. I mean, I find that almost mind-boggling. That program assures people that need it like one nutritional meal a day, and he wants to cut that down. I mean, that's just astounding to me.
I would think that would be a Minnesota value, that we don't abandon people who, you know, they did their part in their working years and did everything they could to contribute to our state. And now why would we turn our backs on them when they need a little help?
Ellen, one of the focuses you would think of Senator Hann and some of the other Republicans out here would be to improve the economic climate. The Southwest Light Rail Transit is a marvelous opportunity to put the construction trades back to work, as well as provide help to the gridlock that we have out here. What would motivate somebody like Senator Hann to be opposed to that when all of the Democrats understand the significance and the importance of that kind of project going forward?
Yeah, I can't understand why he would be against that, or the Republicans would fight that. And I'm so glad that Melissa Franzen and Lori McKendry are both strongly supportive of that transit corridor. They understand that for the communities along the line, it allows them to have an economic development tool that they can use, because businesses want to be located near those corridors. So it's really good for job development in Minnesota.
Well, it's also good on the energy and environmental aspects, isn't it? Because
Sure.
you're going to save fuel, and you're going to eliminate pollution by encouraging people to have a viable option towards getting in the car and going on the freeways.
Absolutely. In St. Paul, we're really excited to have the Central Corridor finally open eventually, soon,
Yes.
and have an alternative. A lot of people would like to have an alternative to their cars if there is something that's convenient and affordable, and that's what this will be. You know, everybody was elected in 2010 saying, we're going to create jobs, we're going to support jobs in Minnesota, and that has been the last thing on the Republican leaders' minds in the legislature. It's been very frustrating. I think the problem with the Republicans that are in leadership now in the legislature is that they're captive to the Tea Party. I never thought that would happen in Minnesota, but that's what's going on. It's really sad that the Tea Party is really calling the political shots at the state capitol.
Well, I know that Lori McKendry and Melissa Franzen are running positive campaigns, and to their credit. But I think it's also important that people out in this Senate district understand the voting record of Senator Hann and take it into account when they go to the polls.
Absolutely.
Thanks for being with us, Ellen. It was a pleasure to see you.
Thank you so much.
Democratic Visions is handmade by volunteers through DFL Senate District 48, Eden Prairie and Minnetonka. Lori Pryor, Chair.